One of the ways to speed up your workflow and make your string compositions sound great is through the use of arpeggiators and animators that do a great job of playing complex rhythms and arpeggios in your production. Many string libraries have the ability to play the sounds in predefined patterns that sound very natural, and for programs that don't, you can also use an arpeggiator to play lines that may otherwise be difficult for a beginner or even intermediate player to play. First, let's look at a plugin that's based on a built-in animator that plays the string sounds in specific patterns. Native Instruments Action Strings is one such virtual instrument that gives you many pre-programmed patterns that you can use in your production. When you pull up the plugin, you'll see 5 different rhythm patterns and then a tab that lets you bring in additional patterns into the user slots. If you want to have real-time control changing the patterns, you can do this very easily using key switches on some of the lower notes. The plugin plays the listed pattern with whatever chords you're playing in the blue range of the keys on the contact keyboard. I can play single notes or chords, and as long as I don't let up on the keyboard, the rhythm will continue no matter what different notes I play. I've selected D-sharp 0, which has a 16th and 8th note pattern. Here's what it sounds like with single notes and chords. So I'm going to use this as inspiration for my song. So if I want to record this, I just press record and play those chords. I'll go ahead and record an 8-bar phrase. So my timing wasn't perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and quantize the notes so the timing is tighter. I'll quantize to the nearest quarter note because I'm actually just going to be quantizing the key presses and not the actual audio output of the plugin. I'm now going to actually copy that over as well so that I have another 8 bars of that. So I'll just duplicate it like this. And I'm going to do it one more, but I'm actually just going to keep the first note. Zoom in on that. I'll show you why in just a second. So now I'm going to record one more time so I can use key switches to change the rhythm pattern towards the end so it builds a little bit more. And so I can have an ending chord, I'll use a key switch as well. I'll quickly record the D sharp just so it goes back to that pattern every time I start the song. And I'll go towards the end and I'm going to actually change the rhythm pattern. So I'm going to do a D key switch, and then I'm going to do an E key switch that does the ending right when I get to the end. I can record it or just draw it in. Okay, the timing was off a little there, so I'm just going to make a couple quick adjustments to where the notes are, making sure it sounds right. Okay, I like the way that sounds. I'm going to turn it into audio real quick just so that when I'm playing back the song, if it triggers from anywhere other than the beat or the beginning, it might change the arrangement. So I'll go ahead and turn it into audio now. Okay, now it's audio. I'm just going to zoom in here. I just want to see if these peaks are hitting. It looks like the peaks are hitting just slightly after the beat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this over very slightly. Okay, that should work. Maybe actually just a little more. And let's listen with the click. Perfect. So very quickly, I've created a nice rhythmic part that I can build the song around. I'll now proceed to play additional parts over the top of this foundation. I'll start with the timpani part to give it some girth in the bass department and make it sound a little more epic. I'll also quantize that, and I think the timpani hits a little bit later after the beat. So I will probably slide it back after I turn it to audio and see where the peaks are hitting. I'll zoom in a little more so I can see those. Okay, very good. Let's nudge it back a hair here. And let's take a quick listen. Perfect. Now I'll go ahead and add some additional string parts. I'll go ahead and start with a sound that has a fast attack but also sustains. I'll go ahead and copy that over too. I'm going to add a couple other elements after this too. I'll copy the timpani part over also. And I'll also do a piano part here. I copied some timpani notes to the end as well. And last, I'm going to go ahead and add another string part. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an arpeggiator to trigger a bunch of 16th notes to add some excitement toward the second half. To do this, I just click on the track, go to where it says Note Effects here. I have an arpeggiator set up. And I click on the arpeggiator and just make sure the octave range is where I want it. In this case, it's 3, so that's perfect. And I make sure it's set to 16th notes. So now when I play this sound, this is what I'm going to hear. Or if I play a chord, it will actually arpeggiate the whole thing. So I turned that into audio, and the last thing I'm going to do is just do another ending on the strings just to make that a little beefier at the end. So in a matter of a few minutes, I was able to create a complex short piece by using an arpeggiator and a string library with the built-in animator. Some libraries even do let you program your own patterns too if you want. Here's the final piece for you. Thanks a lot. Please stay tuned for our next video.